This is a tutorial using Google Drawings to create a digital mosaic. We need to start by creating a background. So we're going to click on shapes and then use that rectangle shape there. We're going to put it in the top left corner and then click and drag that box down all the way to the bottom of the background so that our background square is the same size as our background that we started with. And then we're going to use the fill bucket to create a neutral toned background. The next thing we want to do is insert our image. So we can either upload one from our computer if we have one there. If you have one on the Google Drive, you can do that, or you can insert one from the web as well. I had one on my desktop, so I'm going to go there and click my image and then hit open. But you can see that the background is larger than my image was, so now I need to make my image larger. I'm going to use those corner boxes to do that so that I don't stretch my image disproportionately. So I'm going to lift it up and then use that bottom button to stretch it all the way to the other side, and then I can move my image so that I have it centered in the box. But you'll notice that it's still too big, it's too long for the original box that we had, so we're gonna have to crop the image. So I'm gonna click the image and then use the crop button to crop my photograph. If I pull the little black line there down, if I go a little bit further than what I need, I'll be able to see that background line there, and then I can pull it back up to match that background line. And I'll go down and do the exact same thing for the bottom. I'm going to pull it up a little further than what I think I need so I can see that background line, and then pull it down to meet my background. So perfect. Now that I have my image how I want, I'm going to start laying down polylines. So we're going to go up to the line tool, click on polyline, but then we're going to also zoom in. You want to be fairly close so you can get some small tiles, but you want to make them large, but still have them be small when you zoom out. It's harder to do if it's zoomed all the way out. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to start by clicking for our polyline, and then every click that we do is going to create a new point on our polyline until we click it back to the beginning, and then it's going to close our polyline. So then we're going to click on the fill bucket, and we're going to fill it with that gray that kind of closely matches the color of our original image. So we're going to make a second polyline here, clicking as closely to the original image as we can to kind of be able to get those same shapes. Notice that I'm not using squares here. I'm using different shapes, just random shapes. And notice how when I laid down my second one, it stayed that same color gray. So as long as you're not clicking off anywhere or doing anything in between, it will keep that same color, so you can make a whole bunch of the same color over and over and over again. Also, notice how there's a small gap that's happening in between. So that gap we're using as kind of like our grout in our tile. So you're going to want to leave that small gap in between. And I believe later you'll see how you can also double click on these with the arrow tool and then manipulate them after they're already laid down. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video so that we can get through some of these monotonous steps. I'm going to be back with you in just a minute to discuss changing colors and custom colors. So here you're going to see that I'm going to create a color. It's going to be a custom color because I want to try to match kind of the highlights of the background here where it color changes because of the sun. So you'll see that it shows up down there in the bottom in my custom colors range, which is helpful later when you're trying to find some of those colors that you created. So I wanted to share one other thing. It's not going to be shown in the video, but once you do get finished with either a section or you get all of your mosaic tile pieces down, and you want to start kind of closing up the gaps and making them even, making everything look nice where it's supposed to go, or maybe you made a little mistake with one of your tiles and you kind of need to reposition. If you go up to the top of that menu in Google Drawings, there's an arrow tool there. And if you'll double click on any of your mosaic tiles, it will bring up like a purple outline with some little purple dots. And those dots indicate all of the places that you put down points. And you can manipulate those points at that time to go wherever you need to go. So you can make your pieces a little bit larger or move them over or whatever you need to do to make them the correct size and shape.